Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Point of View with Miss Shirley Polk. I am so happy that you're here with me today. Dear God, as I sit before you to speak, I pray to you that my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. It is a wonderful day, and I have this question for you. Have you ever taken personal inventory? If you did, what did you come up with and how do you feel about it? Oh, yes, personal inventory. And I want to share this about personal inventory here from being.com. And then, broadly speaking, as taking a personal inventory is a process of taking stock of yourself, your strengths and weaknesses, your values, your goals, and maybe even your failures. It's a way to deepen your understanding of yourself and then chart the path toward improvement and growth. Have you ever taken personal inventory? If not, today we're going to talk about taking personal inventory of yourself. We're talking about ourselves today. Sometimes we think, I really like this when Mother Stella Watson said, and I've heard people say a bag of chips and all that, but I heard Mother Stella Watson said years ago in our what is it jurisdictional convocation when she said some people think they're a bag of potato chips and all that. And I've never forgotten how she said it's the way she said it. So, have you taken inventory of yourself? It's a good thing to do. It's a good time to do it too. So, broadly speaking, I'm repeating taking a personal inventory is a process of taking stock of yourself. Talking about me, myself, and I today, okay? You, yourself, and you, okay? Your strengths and weaknesses, your values, your goals, and maybe even your failures. It's a way to deepen your understanding of yourself and chart a path toward improvement and growth. Personal inventory, that's very important. And it's time for us, this time of the year, going into the summer. We're in the summer, and there's so much going on in the summer. Summer, to me, I say summer is difficult for some people because it's so hot and it seems that people get, I don't know, meaner or more short tempered in the heat. And so many things happen in the summertime that it seems more violence and all that to me happens in the summertime. So I'm going to this article here, which is how and why to take a personal inventory. And it is Zapier.com or Zapier.com is Zapier.com. How and why to take personal inventory. It's a new year, and it doesn't matter whether it's January 1st, beginning a new year, or whether it is like today, July the 3rd, the day before the 4th of July, which is Independence Day here in the United States of America. July the 3rd. It's a new year, and the writer said, I feel a bit like Aragorn in Lord of the Flies when the hobbits asked for a second breakfast. Didn't we just have one? Why do we need to have another new year? Okay, why do we need to have another new year? Every day is the beginning of a new year. Okay, just think of it like that. A new year in your life. Every day is the beginning of a new year. So July 3rd, 2025 is the beginning of a new year leading into July 3rd, 2026. Okay, and I know you have that. So, didn't we just have one? So, and the author says, though I bemoan the relentless onward march of time, despite celebrating the fourth annual 29th birthday. The writer says that you're just celebrating my fourth annual 29th birthday. I don't bemoan the idea of a fresh start, a time to reflect on the pre- previous 12 months and plan for the year ahead. So, starting today, we're going to plan for a year ahead. July 3rd next year, we should be way ahead of where we are this year on July the 3rd. Even though we have great accomplishments, many wonderful things, the good outweigh the bad in our life. The good outweighs the bad, but yet next this year, the spinning off from today, July 3rd, 2025, going to July 3rd, 2026, we're going to have even more accomplishments. Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we're. Matters not. Remember yesterday, or no, it was Tuesday. It's never too late. Never too late to follow your dreams. So I'm just letting you know, okay? So it's something we do so little of in our day to day lives. Who takes the time for personal development during a busy work week in July? Huh? This is, I tell you, that song says, God never fails. God never fails. He abides with me. He gives me victory. God never fails. He never fails when He gives these uh, topics to me to present to you and to study for each of us to present these. It's just so wonderful. You see how that mentioned July in there? I'm telling you, it's amazing. It is amazing. So, so it's something we do as so little. I'm repeating this in our day to day lives. And the writer said, I mean, who takes the time for personal development during a busy work week in July? But New Year planning is also notoriously pointless. People set goals that are too ambitious with no real action plan to bring them to fruition and then abandon those same goals faster than you can say, I'd like to cancel my gym membership. And you know, we have set goals, and maybe you haven't, but many of us have set goals and we didn't accomplish those goals like we thought we would at the time that we thought we would. But let me tell you, it's never too late unless you are deceased, okay? Then there's no more action here, but you're not deceased. You're listening to me and you are getting this information and you're getting revved up and encouraged. And this time next year, God willing, oh, you're going to be so much farther along, further on up the road, even though you have many accomplishments now. So this is where personal inventory comes in. What's a personal inventory? Why should I do one? Personal inventory is a flexible term that means different things to different people. The term actually originated in 12-step methods like Alcoholics Anonymous as a way for people to in recovery to take accountability for their actions. So it said it originated in the 12 steps and programs like Alcoholics Anonymous and different stories like that. But, you know, people remember there's nothing new under the sun. And so, as far as they know, this is where it's had us started. Okay? So, let's get here. So, you don't need to be in recovery to benefit from a personal inventory. You do not need to be in recovery. Okay? Now, I want to go back and say the term actually originated in 12-step methods like Alcoholics Anonymous as a way for people in recovery to take accountability for their actions. But you don't need to be in recovery to benefit from a personal inventory, nor does it need to focus solely on taking accountability. Broadly speaking, taking a personal inventory is the process of taking stock of yourself, your strengths and weaknesses, your values, your goals, and maybe even your failures. It's a way to deepen your understanding of yourself and then chart a path toward improvement and growth. That's what it's about. And that is what it's about. And call your friends and text them, message them, and tell them the point of view is on. And I'm talking about taking inventory of yourself. Take an inventory of yourself. And I have no doubt that someone is being helped right now. Even along with me, I take inventory of myself. I study just as I present to you, I'm presenting to myself. Besides the philosophical value of knowing thyself, a personal inventory is a great tool for helping you set realistic, achievable goals. Once you understand where you are and what's important to you, you can set goals that make sense for you. Yes, you can. So, how to take a personal inventory? Here we go. All of this is here for us today. Although, one benefit of taking a personal inventory is that it's a flexible process that you can adapt to your specific circumstances, that can also feel like a huge downside. Where do you even start? You can use a template, of course, but the author tells us that personally, it's like, you could the author likes to do the personal inventory by hand, and it feels more personal that way. And writing things down has always helped cement them in the brain. So the author tells us that he starts by grabbing a large, clean sheet of graph paper, then breaking his life down into distinct focus areas like relationships, health and wellness, and work. So from there, the author tries to take an honest assessment of himself. It said, I start by asking myself a few general high level questions for each area. And it's something when you focus on yourself, and if you're truly honest with yourself and you're earnest about doing this, many things that we see we might not like, but this is a honest and earnest way to improve ourselves. Okay, and be able to be more happy about ourselves inside and out. Once we acknowledge, admit, we scope out the things that we need to improve. Some things we can improve more on, some things we need to let go, and all of that. Taking self inventory, being honest with ourselves, and owning up to what we see. What things are going well in this area? What isn't going as so well? Starting with the positive is crucial because so often we convince ourselves that we're absolute garbage and need to start completely from scratch. In the last year, What was I most proud of accomplishing in this area? Why? And reflecting on previous growth and improvement is just as important as charting new goals, especially for long term hopes or habits. So, seeing just how far you've come can inspire you to keep developing, and asking yourself why these accomplishments spark pride can help you understand what gives your life meaning and drives you forward. Next point is, what do I value in this area? For example, quality time with your partner might be what you value most when it comes to relationships, or alone time with your thoughts might be an important aspect of your wellness. So, in this section, what we're saying is the personal relationships. What can we look at in relationships and health and wellness and work? And so that's personal relationships. So, in how much time do I devote to this area of my life every week? If you're frustrated with what you perceive as a lack of progress in a particular area, you should realistically reflect on how much time you're spending on it. This question also provides great context for later steps when you start mapping out specific goals. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied am I with this part of my life? What number would I like to be next year? What number would I like to be next year on a scale from 1 to 10? Okay. Number ratings are a great way to contextualize and prioritize any goals you might think up. So if you're a 7, 10, for your health, but a 3-10 for your relationships, you might want to focus more on improving your social life, whereas your health and wellness goals probably need smaller tweaks. Then it's time to get specific. Within each area, the author says, I ask myself more pointed questions. Now, these questions are often really specific. For example, when assessing my relationships, who are my three closest friends? On average, how many social activities do I participate in per week? Is there anyone I wish I'd kept up with or cared for better? What do my husband and I argue about the most? What makes me feel fulfilled in a friendship or family relationship? So you can set these questions for yourself, and it might take a bit of thinking or trial and error. This is where the flexibility of a personal inventory can be a double edged sword. So don't be discouraged if it takes you a few tries to figure out which questions give you the most valuable insights. So if you're really struggling with the blank page approach, though, you might want to try starting with a personality test. And there's a personality test here that you can go to, like it's there's a link here, okay, like the MBTI or the Enneagram. So while these tests are not necessarily definitive, they can spark some insight into who you are as a person and what's important to you. Next, how to use your personal inventory at work. You may be thinking, I'm here for guidance about my professional life, not a self help column. So the author says, please hear me out though. A personal inventory is the best tool found the author says that I've found for improving my work and figuring out my career. So if you're still in the workforce, the truth is your work is not your life, but it is informed by your life, okay? And it benefits from the same level of introspection and planning as other areas. In other words, you get out what you put in. So, repeating that, the truth is your work is not your life, but it is informed by your life, and it benefits from the same level of introspection and planning as other areas. In other words, you get out what you put in. So, when the personal inventory is done, there are a few questions. So then the author says, I ask myself when mapping out the work portion, how do my personal strengths and shortcomings show up for me at work? Are there particular types of projects I can take on to grow where I'm weak? Does the role I'm in align with my values and goals? So, most importantly, don't think of your personal inventory as one and done deal, okay? Don't think of your personal inventory as a one and done deal. It should be something you refer back to and update regularly. Personally, the author's saying and adding here, I like to align mine with the new year and with my company's performance review cycle in August. That way, I can take a mid year pause to appreciate how my reflection and planning have resulted in actual change. Now, you can decide when you want to do your inventory, what parts of your life you want to base it on, what times in your life, are there certain valuable or very important days or months that you want to base it on. You do it however you want to, but just take the self inventory, okay? Next, a stern and then a step in the right direction. There are a million tools out here that claim to help you achieve your goals, but the greatest tool will always be self awareness. You hear that? There are a million tools out here that claim to help you achieve your goals, but the greatest tool will always be self-awareness. Even if you're not ready to make a personal inventory, a regular practice, taking a moment to reflect is never a bad idea. It's never a bad idea. I'm going to take just a little break here. I will be right back. Thank you for your patience. Thank you so much for your patience. I am so delighted to be here. So, like we were talking about, a million tools to say they'll help you, but you can always use self awareness, which is the greatest tool. So, even if you're not ready to make a personal inventory, a regular practice, take a moment to reflect. If you take that moment to reflect, it's never a bad idea, okay? Never a bad idea. So you can also kick the process off by using automation to track anything you might add to your personal inventory. That's automatically track feedback from yourself and others. And when it's time to do your inventory, you have something to work from. This is wonderful information. And so there are related readings here that you can go to this site, which is zapier.com. Zapier.com. Okay, 7 questions to ask when taking a daily personal inventory. These are helping us out. They're helping me. I appreciate these writers, these psychologists, psychiatrists, these counselors, all of these people, these researchers who have put this out here for us. 7 questions to ask when taking a daily personal inventory. I am in liferecoverygroups.com. 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 Taking a daily personal inventory is essential to recovery and personal growth. So remember, in our article that we just did, you don't have to be in recovery to take this inventory, okay? You can use it. You can use it even if you're not in recovery, all right? Life Recovery Step 10 says, we continued to take personal inventory and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Unlike Life Recovery Steps 4 through 9, which focuses on the past. Step 10 focuses on the present. So before going to bed, spend a few minutes thinking about the good and the bad things that happened that day. Record answers in a journal. Remember, it's talking about, doing this. Get your paper. The other said get a graphic sheet of paper. This one's, get your journal. You can make your journal like I do. I print my lined paper and I do my journal every day. So before going to bed, spend a few minutes thinking about the good and the bad things that happened that day. Record answers in a journal. Consider asking the following questions when taking a daily inventory. Number one, what do I have to be grateful for today? I like these already. What do I have to be grateful for today? Take the time to write down all the things that happened that day to thank God for. Write down as many things as possible each day, whether it is a compliment from a coworker, an opportunity to reconnect with an old friend, or an answer to prayer. Seeing life through the lenses of gratitude can give hope to prevent relapses or giving up altogether. And like I said, if you are not in a situation and you're not in recovery, like from some kind of program, self harm program, which could be addiction, some kind of addiction, or you can still, this is still for you, okay? It's still for me. So, did my regrets from the past or fears from the future flood my mind? That's number three. So let's go number two. Did I say or do anything that I need to take responsibility for? Everyone makes mistakes and has poor behavior and judgment at one time or another. And I concur. Every one of us does something off sometime or the other, or has done something off one time, two times, many times, or others, okay? But the act of trying to right a wrong that happened today is much easier than trying to make amends years from now. Pray and ask God for the wisdom and courage to apologize if needed. Number three, did any regrets from the past or fears for the future flood my mind? Fearful, anxious thoughts can quickly come into the mind if left unchecked. These thoughts can destroy peace of mind and lead to poor decision making. List any fears, worries, or regrets. Remember, fear should compel us to trust in God. David said, "But when I am afraid, I will put my trust in you." Psalm 56, verse 3. Number four, is there anything that happened today? We're talking about taking self inventory, okay? Is there anything that happened today to threaten my sobriety or to threaten my peace of mind or to bring up those thoughts that I've been having, or different, so many different things. Okay, sobriety is a process, setbacks will happen, but the best way to prevent a release and a relapse is long before it happens. The best way to prevent a relapse is long before it happens. Okay? Understand external triggers such as people, places, and things that elicit thoughts or cravings associated with addiction or even worries. Like some people have trauma. They might not be addicted to anything, but there is a trauma in their mind. Something happened to them, and there's a certain trigger. It could be a person, place, thing, something that triggers it, okay? Number five, did I allow myself to become too hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? The HALT, okay, acronym is helpful for avoiding or resolving feelings of hunger, anger, loneliness, and tiredness for those that need it. And it says for those in recovery. So since I'm reading from this site, please excuse me. I'm going to read it as they have it, but I want you to understand that you don't have to be in recovery. Now, if you should be in recovery, please get in there and get you some help. But everybody's not addicted to drugs, everybody's not addicted to alcohol, but some people are addicted to people. They're addicted to other things, gambling, that's the part where you can get some help too, but they're addicted to just different things that happen in their lives. And they have regrets, they have remorse. There are things that come into people's minds that people are not thinking about, they haven't done, but the enemy plays tricks on people, and anything he can do to get you off track and get your mind all confused and keep your mind off God and his goodness, he will do that. Did I allow myself to become too hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? So this is the HALT, the acronym HALT, and there's a period behind each capital letter, which is H, capital H, period, capital A period, capital L period, and capital T period. The acronym is helpful in avoiding or resolving feelings of hunger, anger, loneliness, and tiredness. For those in recovery, for those in traumatic situations, or who have been in traumatic situations. So, by learning to identify these feelings and trying to meet these basic needs in healthy ways, it's easier to reduce and relieve triggers that pop up. The key is to pay attention to them and not ignore them. That's the key, to pay attention to them, not ignore them. Number six, is there anything I need to admit to God and those to whom I'm accountable? A critical component of taking a daily personal inventory is being honest. Taking an inventory helps to spot negative patterns as they emerge. Be sure to talk about these with a new life counselor and a life recovery group. And just in case you can't get to them, you can come to Peace of Mind Counseling. My number is 469 629 9543. 469 629 9543. Number seven, what steps can I take to have a better tomorrow? In recovery, there will be good days and bad days. When things don't go so well, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. When things don't go so well, please hear this, okay? When things don't go so well, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. Don't give up, don't give in, please don't. Take it one day at a time. Learn lessons today and realize it's never too late to make better choices tomorrow. So if you or a loved one needs help with recovery, you can call this number 800 New Life, NEWLIFE, or you can go to this link that has counselor on it, and you can click on that link, or certified coach. This is by Kimberly Bolzman, and that's KIMBERLEEBOUSMAN. What a wonderful, wonderful article. And I am just so delighted to bring this to you today and asking the question, have you taken self inventory? Have you taken self inventory? What did you see and how do you feel about it? What did you find and how do you feel about that inventory? I tell you, it's amazing the things that we are blessed to uh, do and to find out. I am just so delighted that I am a part of your life. It is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You are awesome. You are wonderful. And I really, really appreciate you for being here. I really, really do. It makes such a day of pleasure to know that you are here with me. You matter in my life. I don't know about other people, but I know you matter in my life. You matter in my life. So, have you ever taken a personal inventory? What did you find? And how do you feel about it? I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me. And God willing, I will be here soon. And don't forget, on Saturday evening at 7:39 p.m., God willing, Elder Ron Trotter will be speaking to us right here on the World Wide Web on Greater Gospel Temple, Church of Praise and Worship and Inspiration of God Ministries. And he will be delivering Greater Gospel Temple's official 59th anniversary celebration message. I love you all, and you can call me at 469-629-9543. You can message me on these avenues: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Africa TV, which is Afreeca TV, which is based in Korea. And I am just grateful, grateful, grateful. And then let's see, that's Twitch, Africa TV, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and there's one more. But you can contact me. I love you so much, and please, I be safe and enjoy the 4th of July, Independence Day for the United States to the highest. Enjoy it and share with me your menu and all of that you enjoyed so much. I love you. Be safe and be thankful. Be thankful for what you've got. Be thankful and keep your head to the sky. Okay?